Good morning, ITA, and welcome. My name is Mandi. I am from Los Angeles, California in America, and I am currently living in Qingdao, China. I am very excited to be hosting, so yay, let's get started. Okay, let me just give you a quick background on my story. I took the TEFL course actually in 2016, so I took it online and it was wonderful, and I thought I'm going to take the TEFL course, save up some money, move to China. It didn't exactly happen like that. I ended up getting a really cool job working for a music tour. So I took the TEFL course 2016, ended up working for the music tour. I stayed with the tour for 4 years, and then it was just time for me to move on. And the most logical step was I need to go to China because it was always in the back of my head. I was planning on moving to China when I was taking the TEFL course for a couple of reasons. One, I know that it pays very well. Two, I don't have a bachelor's degree, and I'll get back to this later, but at that time, I knew that China was one of the places you could go that you didn't need a bachelor's degree to teach. So that's why I decided on that. So that was my plan in 2016. So I was TEFL certified through ITA, and I was working for this music tour for 4 years. Like I said, it was time for me to move on. So in 2019, I was like, I gotta go to China. I can't get this out of my head. I have to do it. So I moved to China in November of 2019, which, as you guys know, was right before COVID hit. So I was in China for 3 months before COVID hit. That was a scary time, full of anxiety, as you can imagine, being here during that. We were on a full and complete lockdown. I was basically just in my apartment drinking wine all the time. And then I was in my apartment in the lockdown for 20 days here in China. And then my anxiety was going crazy, and I was like, I have to get out of here. So I decided to go back home to the States, and didn't realize that I was going. So when I went home, I thought, oh, we'll just go home for like a month, let this whole COVID thing die down in China, and then go back and live my life. I was so cute then. Back then, I was so cute, thinking those fun thoughts. I ended up getting stuck in America for 7 months because China closed their borders to anyone who was outside of the country. I was not expecting that. So I got stuck outside of China for 7 months, and this is how I got back in. A lot of people I know have had difficulties getting back in. I completely lucked out. So luckily, when I decided to go home, my school was very understanding. I worked from home for a while, teaching online and making videos and stuff. So my school didn't cancel my contract, which I know a lot of foreigners ran into that issue. My school has been great, and I'll talk more about them later. So they basically said, just get back when you can. When I told them the borders are closed, I can't get back. So one day I woke up, the end of September, and saw the announcement that China said, if you have a valid residence permit, you are allowed back into the country. Luckily, my residence permit didn't expire for 2 days, which meant I literally had a day to get all of my stuff together, say bye to my friends and family, hop on a flight, and get to China before my residence permit expired, and I was going to get stuck outside of the country again. So as soon as I found out I could come back, I bought a very, very expensive flight, one-way flight, knew I'd have to do my quarantine and everything. I made my school call Beijing Customs to make sure that even though my residence permit was going to expire in a day, they would still let me in. They said yes. Everything was great. So I flew from LAX to Beijing. I did my 14-day quarantine, which was, I had a really totally good experience. I stayed at the Holiday Inn in Beijing. It was a nice, clean place. I got 3 meals a day. It was totally fine. I've also heard some horror stories from quarantining, but mine was great. Did my 14-day quarantine. Made my way to Qingdao. I had to do an extra day quarantine in Qingdao. After all of this was said and done, I had taken 10 COVID tests. I had taken blood tests, nasal, throat. Okay, so after all those tests, all the quarantine, everything, I was finally able to live my life again. So that is my backstory. I'm going to leave a thing here. So if you guys have any questions, you can go ahead and ask me questions. I'm going to give you an apartment tour and let you know about my school, etc. I don't start work until 1, so later on you'll get to see some of my classes, okay? Okay, so my school pays for my apartment. I don't know how much it costs. I did get like a rough estimate from some people around here about how much my place might cost. So at the end of this, I'll give you a breakdown of all of that. But I just have to pay utilities here, which is very inexpensive in China. So let me give you the tour. This is my bathroom. It is a wet room, which is not my favorite, but first world problems, it's fine. Washer, there are no dryers in China. Over here is my kitchen, pretty decent size. Comes with a fridge. It came fully furnished. Everything works perfectly. Over here, hey, I have 2 rooms. First bedroom, I basically just use this as an office when I'm doing some extra work. This is my living room. I have a smart TV. This is my living room. And then this is my bedroom. So it's pretty like just close in there. My bed, I love my bed. And then I have this little area, which obviously I don't have a lot of stuff, haven't done much with it. I'm on the 6th floor. So this is my view here. I live alone. I do not have a roommate, which is how I wanted it. Like I said, my school did everything. They basically were like, here's a few apartments to choose from. Do you like any of them? I was like, this one is great. And they were like, good, it's yours. Done. I guess the worst thing about my apartment is that it's on the 6th floor and there is not an elevator. Elevators are kind of scarce here in China, so that's not that fun. But other than that, I have AC, heating. Okay, so let me talk about my job, which I found in a very, very random way. I did not have any prior teaching experience. I didn't have, like I said, I don't have a bachelor's. I had no idea what I was doing other than I took the TEFL course with ITA. So I told you I was working for a music tour for 4 years after I got TEFL certified. I met one of my best friends on that tour and later on found out that her mom was the principal at a school in China. I kid you not, I could not make this up. And when I found that out, I was like, that is a sign. I have to get over there. So when it was time for me to move on and I wanted to go to China, I just called my best friend and I was like, hey, do you think I could get a job? Like, I'm TEFL certified, I'm qualified. And I spoke to her mom and I got the job. So I do work at a training center, so I want to talk to you guys about that. So training centers have kind of a bad rap in China. Oh, my coffee's here. Hang on. It's so easy to get literally everything delivered here. But he has to come up 6 flights of stairs. Okay. Yeah. Coffee. Every time I tell someone here that I work for a training center, they're like, ugh. That's their face. Ugh. And I'm like, I get it. I know training centers have a bad rap for having to work long days, long hours. I love my school. I love my job. I love my students. I work 8 hours a day like everyone else. I have a 1-hour lunch. In fact, I only have 2 classes a day. Each class is an hour and a half. So I have a total of 3 hours worth of classes a day. I teach 4, 5, 6-year-olds, so my prep is very minimal because it doesn't take much to teach kids ABCs and shapes. So I've been very lucky. But that being said, the downside to a training center is that you don't get a lot of time off. You don't get summer breaks and winter breaks like everybody else. Before I forget, I want to talk about the bachelor's degree and then I'll get to all your guys' questions and I'll stop talking so much because I'm super annoying. So back in 2016, when I was first taking my ITA course, it was well known everywhere that you could teach in China without a bachelor's, which was a huge reason why I wanted to go there because I don't have a bachelor's degree, I only have an associate's. By the time that I was going to move to China in 2019, the rules kind of changed, and what everyone was sort of seeing was that you actually do need a bachelor's to teach in China. So that worried me, but as you guys saw, I got my job because my best friend's mom's the principal at the school, and she said that's not at all true. And obviously I'm here. I had zero problems getting a visa or anything. I showed them my associate's degree. I don't even know if it was needed. My TEFL degree was definitely needed. So I had no problems at all getting my job here in China. It's actually pretty easy to get away with not knowing Chinese here. There are a few phrases that I learned because I kept needing to say them over and over again. It's very frustrating at times, don't get me wrong, but it hasn't really been a huge issue for me. Xia. That being said, welcome to Mandarin with Mandi! Ba-da-ba, ba-da-ba. Okay, I'm gonna teach you guys every foreigner's favorite Chinese word. Yes, I speak for all foreigners here in China. The word is Tianbado. Tianbado. And that means I hear ya, but I don't know what you're saying. And it is the cutest thing when you say Tianbado to a Chinese person and they laugh and they think it's This is my school. These are all classrooms. Nobody's turned the lights on in here yet. Oh look, there we go. And then here is my office. Hi guys.
Hi.
They're so confused. Happy New Year! Yay!
我太妙了！
Big twos.
不会把声音给拍上了吧？
Oh, really? Big twos. Big threes. Elsa? Yeah, that's better. Good. Big two. 11, Kathy? Right here?
What's a small
Elsa, what's next? What's after 11?
12.
Yeah? Elsa, 12? Okay, that is it. Thank you guys so much for watching today. This is my personal Instagram. If you guys want to ask me any more questions or anything, I'm always posting about what it's like to live here in China. I love my job. I love living in China. I live a very comfortable life, as you guys could see. So yeah, thank you.